Hi, welcome to Miss Music. And it's that time again of the year when we start thinking about the best albums of the year. And has it been an amazing year for music, or has it been a bit of a damp squib? One of the interesting points is that many of the lists that I've looked at fail to agree on the top 10 this year. And after reviewing many albums, my top album of the year is one that no one is talking about. It's a criminally overlooked work that I believe is one of the most brilliant pieces of music of 2025. The following then are my favourite albums of the year, and I hope you'll find some new discoveries among them. After all, that's what these lists are for. So number 10 is Saya Gray. And this year I just stumbled upon what I would call enchanting sounds of this Canadian-born artist, Saya Gray. And it was love at first listen. I love the way that Gray plays around with sounds, and the sound of her voice is just incredible. Her album is a dazzling blend of sounds that are refreshingly different from anything else in 2025. And critics have dubbed it genre-bending, but what truly stands out is Saya's vast musical vocabulary, and that keeps each track exciting and unexpected. And there's a lot of skill on this album, and track by track, you never know what you're going to get. And that means it never gets boring. Saya scored an impressive 80 on Metacritic, which is not bad going when this is just your second album. So listen to Thus Is Why I Don't Spring for Love. And if you like that, then move on to HBW. These are brilliant tracks. If you don't get hooked after listening to those two tracks, then you never will. So number 9 is Ichikoa Aoba. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this album will really just transport you to another realm. It really is a spellbinding album. Luminescent Creatures, scored a Metacritic score of 87. And I think this album is a masterpiece of beautifully composed and deeply thoughtful music. Trust me, your hi-fi system was made for this type of music. And I made a video about this album, so you can have a look at that if you want, and listen to 3 of the absolutely brilliant tracks from the album. I'll stick that up. I think it comes up here now. So number 8 then is the Throwing Muses Moonlight Concessions album. Throwing Muses is led by the absolutely remarkable Kristin Hersh, and they return with an album which has sparked some debate amongst fans. However, to those who know the early Muses, there is a kind of nostalgic thread woven throughout this album. I do think it's a Muses album. It just harks back to those early albums. The album scored 79 on Metacritic. After her diagnosis of dissociative disorder and PTSD, Hersh seems finally, I think, to be in control of her music rather than the music being in control of her. And this has led to more intricate songs. I think the lyrics are deeper, much more reflective, but the music is still honest and heartfelt. This is really an album that rewards multiple listens. I've again made a video of Moonlight Concessions, so if you want, you can have a look at that, listen to some of the music from that album. Number 7 then is Lady Gaga. And this is unexpected for me, I think. Mayhem, I have to say, is a great album. It has a Metacritic score of 84. I must admit that I have not listened to Lady Gaga since her very, very first album, but her live performance at Coachella was absolutely stunning, and I had to give Mayhem a listen, and I'm really glad I did. Maybe I'm kind of getting old and sad, but I find a lot of kind of pop music a bit tedious. I was surprised to see Addison Rae on so many top albums of the year lists. I haven't listened to her album, but I have seen her live in concert, and I will never be able to unsee that concert. Unlike Rae, Lady Gaga, I think, really deserves to be in the top 10. The album sounds amazing, and it's got so much character. And like Beyonce's last album, the sound and production here are really top notch. If you don't know the album, check out Disease and Perfect Celebrity. Both are really great tracks. Number 6 then is Annie and the Caldwells, Can't Lose My Soul. And this is really reviving the soulful sounds of the 70s. And Can't Lose My Soul is, I would say, a family affair that you just can't miss. It has a Metacritic score of 88, and it's an album that nearly passed me by. It's been there on my playlist for most of the year, and I just hadn't got around to listening to it, and I'm so glad I did. Can't Lose My Soul is just a stunning album that takes you back to those kind of soul albums of the 70s. It really has that special vibe to it. This is a band consisting of Annie, but also her husband, their daughters, and their goddaughter. And we've got David Byrne to thank for signing the Cladwells and releasing this incredible record. It's one of the albums where everything on it just sounds absolutely perfect. It's a joy to listen to. So now it really does get serious as we get into the top 5, or my top 5 albums of the year anyway. And number 5 then is Richard Russell and his album Temporary. I don't know if the title of the album has changed. I always thought it was called Richard Russell's Is Temporary, but it seems to be just called Temporary. And I'm kind of betting that you have not listened to this album, but you really, really must. Record producer extraordinaire Richard Russell's latest album, Temporary, is one of those albums that I know that I am going to be listening to for the rest of my life. It is that good. Russell is making, I think, some of the most interesting music around at the moment when he does bring out these albums. I've made a video of the album, you can check that out, and I've also made a video of his first album, Everything Is Recorded, which is also a brilliant piece of work. If you haven't listened to Richard Russell's Temporary, then you must listen to this album. Like his previous albums, it's a collaboration with many other musicians. And on this album, you've got the divine voice of Sampha, the extraordinary talent of Florence Welsh, and the kind of mellow, poignant tones of Bill Callahan. The album explores the transient nature of our existence through the most beautiful music. Listen to the track Never Felt Better and Porcupine Tattoo, and that will give you a real sense of the album. And I guarantee you want to listen to the rest of it. Number 4 then is FKA Twigs and her album Eusexia, which has an incredible Metacritic score of 87. This album was a surprise to me. I hadn't heard the music of FKA Twigs before making a video about the Mercury Prize, which you can also check out. After hearing the album, I was 100% sure that it was going to be the winner. But the award went to Sam Fender, who, in my opinion, is just a Bruce Springsteen tribute act, whose album literally put me to sleep. I made a video about it. I hated it. FKA Twigs operates in a musical genre that I'm not really that familiar with, but I love hearing these kind of new sonic ideas, and I always enjoy being challenged by music. I was surprised by how good FKA Twigs' vocals are. Plus, on the title track, you get the ethereal warblings of Earth Eater 2. I'm guessing, and I am making an assumption here, that if you subscribe to this channel, and thank you for doing so, this is an album that may be a little out of your comfort zone. It was for me. But give it a listen, and like any good music, you're going to need to listen to a track a few times before it makes its home in your brain. So, now to the big 3. So number 3, and you may not be surprised if you listen to the channel regularly, is Steve Wilson's The Overview. This has a Metacritic score of 82. This is an album that appears nowhere on anybody's list of the top albums of the year that I've read so far, which is a shame because it is a brilliant album. I've previously created a video about the overview, so you can take a listen to that if you want. Stephen Wilson is, if you don't know him, he is an extraordinary, exceptional musician, a composer, brilliant songwriter, and has this amazingly dedicated fan base who have high expectations of his music. The last two albums received kind of mixed reviews from fans. This one, no, it's great. There are only 2 tracks on this album, and the music transports us to the vast expanses of space. And Wilson demonstrates just why he is so bloody good. I was lucky enough to catch him live this year, and that was an incredible experience. So number 2 is Perfume Genius and his album Glory. After a transformative live performance at the Roundhouse this year, Glory by Perfume Genius has just become one of my favourite albums. It is his most, I think, assured work, beautiful, resonant, and absolutely compelling, with an incredible Metacritic score of 90. If you don't know the album, check out the brilliant No Front Teeth and the ethereal It's a Mirror, both brilliant tracks. So for my number 1 album of the year, is it going to be Rosalia, who is number 1 on almost all other lists? Well, of course not. No, let's not follow the herd. Instead, let's do something extraordinary, something truly different. My number 1 album of the year is LSD by the Cardiacs. And how could it really be anything but? This phenomenal piece of work has a stellar score of 90 on Metacritic, yet remains criminally overlooked on best of lists. But that's where we come in, because here on this channel, we, I think, celebrate the extraordinary, the groundbreaking, and the truly delightful. Imagine an album that's so captivating and complex that it urges you to listen to it from start to finish without skipping a single track. And every time I just play a track, I have to listen to the whole album. It's just that good. If you haven't heard the album, check out the video I made about it, but also listen to the track Skating. But listen till the end. Don't give up, because it's not going to be the song you think it is, and it's not going to be the song you want it to be, but it's going to be the song your musical soul craves. I started this channel during the pandemic as a way to fill in time. I'm still a YouTube hobbyist. I'm pretty awful, I know. However, I'm so glad I did start the channel, because I would have never discovered the Cardiacs. It was one of you, a subscriber, that recommended their music to me. And it scares me to think I may not have heard these albums. So these are the 10 albums that I loved this year. I mean, I really do love these albums. Of course, there were more, but 10 is enough for a video. But let me know what your favourite albums of the year were. Put your list below in the comments, because I love discovering new music. And I think these kind of our top 10 albums of the year, not the press's top 10 albums of the year, but our top 10 albums of the year, are a way, I think, for us all to discover new bands that we don't know of, and that is exciting. What a great way to spend the Christmas holidays. Once again, thanks for watching. Do subscribe if you want to join in the conversation. But yeah, real big thanks to everyone.